Hello, beautifuls. I'm Benji, and I am going to be doing a field reading today. I did have a dream last night, which is kind of significant to what's going on in the true line and the distorted collective line. I'm not going to go into the actual dream itself, but I pulled some key points and understandings from that dream before I started this video today. If you are looking to be in the space of reciprocity, then check out the members, subscribe, like, leave a comment, start a conversation. And if you would like a personal one-on-one reading, then definitely go check out my website. I also have a blog there too if you want to read messages. So today, what's coming through is that the old line, so I'm just going to start calling it that. The old line is the distorted collective. If you want to check out my later videos that I've been doing in the last week or two, then you can find out exactly what that is through some of those videos. It is the old line is currently scrambling to figure out a route. The access points are basically breaking down for them, so they're not working anymore. The seat that they sit in for comfort is becoming more and more unstable every single day, and the foundation of the old line is basically cracking. So imagine the tower, it's, like something hit it and it is cracking, like it's had like an earthquake go through the middle of it. The future route for them is blocked. There's no way around, there's no way through, they can't force their way through, and it is not confusion in the true line at the moment, it's confusion in the old line. So basically, the distorted structure is realizing at the moment that it can no longer stay attached to something, the true line, that it was never truly aligned with. So that's what I pulled from the dream that I had overnight. It was a very interesting dream that I had, and we're going to start off pulling an oracle card and we'll just do a reading. So what is coming through? We have encoded embodiment. You are the sigil you seek. That's an interesting one. So here in the true line, you yourself are what you're seeking. So that should just make sense. If you're looking externally for something, you're seeking the sigil, like a sign or someone to direct you in the way that you need someone to tell you what you need to do, like every day of your life, then you're basically outside of true source. You're actually seeking something that is actually yourself. You're seeking yourself. And you are the sigil that you seek. So this is something that's coming through, basically embodying self, and not needing a person to basically tell you what direction to go, because when you go inward, it will tell you that you don't need anyone to tell you what you need to do, because there's this internal compass that a lot of people ignore. They either don't realize they have it, or it's been shut off, or it's basically been covered up by all of these external things. We do have ancestral recall also coming out, which is their karma ends when your breath begins. So this one here is really interesting. I understand that this is basically the karma that they were projecting onto you ends when your breath begins. So when you find true source and you start walking the true line and you start breathing and listening for the original frequency. So it's very interesting, these two cards coming out. They're probably the more depthy cards in this set that I have created. Now let's look into the old line and see what exactly is happening underneath the surface. So we have the Two of Cups in reverse, so this is very clear. It's been coming out every single reading pretty much lately. They are cut off. So that's a definite at this point. Like, it's been reiterated over and over and over in my readings. So the Two of Cups in reverse really shows that they do not have a connection to true source anymore. Like, they don't have access. They don't have a pathway. It's just not there anymore. Energetically, they are in like a quarantine zone, if that makes sense. Like, they're being boxed in, over here. True sources here, and they're like in this box over here, and there's no more threads, there's no more lines, there's no more pathways essentially to go into this situation anymore. They've just completely been cut off. So that's definitely something that is coming through. We have Judgment coming out, which is really significant here. They have been placed under source judgment. This reckoning is a full-scale correction judgment. This is something that has been ignored for a very long time. There's been signs, there's been probably synchronicities, there's been a calling, there's been the inner voice, like this embodied, encoded embodiment kind of signal coming through. And it's something that has been ignored for such a long time that this has happened. So correction takes place once the witnessing has happened for long enough. So it's like there's I don't really talk about it like this, but this is a way you could say it, is that in the spiritual realm there is true source, and then there's all of these other things that have been created outside of true source. And essentially true source is growing bigger, and it was smothered at one point. It had been not destroyed, but it had been dimmed, if that makes sense. And this judgment has come about because source has been growing and had eyes on the ground to witness these things, so then it can basically hold the people and groups to account that have been misusing its source power. So this judgment is really, like people would say, spiritual court, but this is far greater, far bigger than spiritual court. This is full reckoning from true source that has required a witness on the ground to witness the truth and embody the true line, so that it can put this system that has been distorted and manipulating and steering basically humanity down the wrong path. So they are under source judgment, and it's not just a small little thing. This is huge. And we have the Star in reversed coming out, which is interesting here. This gives me the sense of this line clearly is just not connected to the true line anymore. So we do have the Two of Cups in reverse, not connected to source, being cut off. The Star is, in my framework, is the Star upright is the true line, and it is like the path of truth and shining in the dark of all of the illusions. So their judgment is basically they are no longer part of the true line. This is not like a love and light thing. Like I don't step into those worlds anymore, because those things are the things that are being used to manipulate. This is full source judgment. This is full cutoff. Like, this probably will make it so that they never have access to this line again. But it's like full correction. So there is a possibility that they could probably gain access to the true line again, but it would be a long and a very uncomfortable process. Discomfort is where you learn the most. So it's going to be a very uncomfortable line to go down to reach true source again, to like literally walk down the truth line. So that's probably something that could still happen. It's just I'm getting that they're just completely cut off. At this point, I don't think they're even going to attempt to walk down that line. It's just too difficult for them. We do have the tower in reversed, so the hiding instability. So this is something on the surface that it will look like they're doing okay. You know, like they're still pushing narratives. These narratives could be all over the place. So like one person could be pushing this, another person should be pushing this, someone could be pushing this, this, and this, and this, and this, and there's the sense of imbalance, and that's what I get from the Two of Pentacles in reversed. So they're actually just like constantly in the state of trying to delay things from happening in their world. This is where the ignoring of the reckoning has come in. They have been ignoring this call to the judgment, to the what's going on, and for them to correct their own situation, their own behavior, right, and their own line. But they refuse. They have downright refused to do so. But there is this huge imbalance, and the tower is and has already fallen. It's interesting that they are just basically doubling down, maybe even tripling down, quadrupling down, because it's been going on for a long time. They've been ignoring this call for a long time from True Source. They have chosen distortion. They have chosen that alignment. And we have the Page of Cups in reversed. So interesting, yeah. So this is an interesting thing. The Page of Cups in reversed is really just giving that sense of like the false offers are just not working anymore on the true line. They had kept doing that for a long time. They had kept offering these like cups that were basically traps, and the refusal of these trap cups, you know, traps to basically stay connected to something that they were stealing from, siphoning from, distorting, and then creating this distorted reality from, is to do with their comfort. And their comfort is being not attacked, but their comfort is disappearing. So the Queen of Cups, they're thinking about comfort, okay? They just want comfortable. Where there's comfortable, there is a lot of things. Like they would have abundance, right, when they're comfortable. So if they can keep things the way they are, then they'll get to stay comfortable. But there is the sense of the Three of Cups in reverse. There's just like no celebration. They are in a state of imbalance, no connection to source anymore, nothing's working. All they can think about is their comfort and their comfort seat that they're sitting in, and they're just not celebrating anymore. They know exactly what's coming. They see the signs, they hear the calling, you know, like they just ignore it. But underneath there's a lot of fear. There's a sense of the Five of Swords here coming out, which is a sense of winning at all costs. So that's the proof of them ignoring the calling, and more about doubling down, right? Quadrupling down, like literally getting to a point where they just won't stop. And this judgment is becoming really active. The Nine of Cups. They just want their comfort. They don't care about anything else except for comfortable places where they can just sit and bask in what they've got, what they have, what they've created from something that they siphoned and distorted to get. Let's just grab one last card. The deck wanted to split there. So we have the Page of Wands in reverse coming out, and underneath is the Seven of Swords. So this is no direction, no future line, and they are attempting covert attempts at trying to keep that alive. So it's pretty clear. At this point, it's pretty clear. Judgment is fully active, and this judgment will not stop. There's nothing, no magic, no spell, no chant, no candle, no crystal, no sigil, no anything. There's no protection through distortion that's strong enough that's going to stop true source judgment from the true line of source to happen to this distorted collective. So I think I'm going to end it there. If you resonated with this reading and you can feel or see, or if you can understand what's truly going on here, then that's awesome. And if not, and if you know that this is about you and you just happen to stumble across my video, or you feel like you've been called to watch this video and now you're in disbelief at the truth that has been spoken, then all I can really say is you should have listened. You should have heard the call, and you should have made an alignment choice that was in truth. Anyway, take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.